So yeah, we're gonna talk about what we've been seeing, man. I've seen a lot of stuff. I'm sure I'm gonna let Bob lead the way, man. What have you seen lately?
The first one that sticks out to me. I saw the new reimagining of Nosferatu, and I was unimpressed. Honestly, I mean, I'm not gonna bag it super heavy. I mean, it did have its moments, but watching that one just made me like the original that much more. It's funny to me how a silent film that leads with imagery and music and just facial expressions, how a remake just was oversaturated with dialogue. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. I didn't like what they did with Count Orlok. Ultimately, that was a problem for me. Because Count Orlok was. We all know that, Nosferatu came from Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'm not saying anything that nobody doesn't know. But what they did do, with that film is they reinvented the look of Dracula. They gave us something new, some new nightmare fuel, something that was never before seen, that then would further change the aesthetic of vampires as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Also adding in, the whole sunlight vibe and all that stuff, how that another way to kill them.
Yeah.
But it seemed like with the new one, they kind of took away from that. They gave him a weirdo mustache, which I thought that was just like, why'd you do that? Like, because I mean, his face is one of the things that stood out most in the original, and in this one it's like, dude, the weird mustache, and then he sounds like I know we were joking. He looked like a more slimmed down, taller version of Zangief from Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? Which
Zangief after like a few months of crystal meth.
Exactly. Yeah, after Bender. But and then also the acting outside of the look of Count Orlok, the acting was subpar to me. Like there was no emotional connection with none of the characters. Like especially when it came to like Lily Depp's character. I honestly, as I was watching it for the 2 hours, 18 minutes or whatever it was given.
Too long.
2 hours too long. But when I was watching it, like, I really just didn't give a damn what was happening to her. Like her spiral into madness was just, it was not believable. And, then there were other things like that were happening. Like, when she was just supposed to be so distraught because her boyfriend was gone and all this other stuff. Oh, I can't live without him. She just seemed to be, coping and functioning just fine. And then also when you come to this ultimately like love, lust, desire that Orlok had for her, like it didn't hit. Like, I'm like, dude, you just like how it's not translating on screen. And, for all of those reasons, it really fell short. Like to me, this one, instead of being a remake of the original Nosferatu, it felt like a reimagining of what we got from the 90s film Bram Stoker's Dracula, the one with Gary Oldman. And
I think a lot of it is a lot of overlap. I think they probably definitely, because some of the shots are recreated shot for shot from the original Nosferatu. So I think he was trying to put his own twist on it, man. I saw this film too in the theater, and I didn't have a good time, man. But counter to you though, I did like Orlok. I like the tip to change him. You know what I'm saying? At least give us something different visually. And I think a lot of it, this film boils down to, it's like you got to kind of justify the idea of even going over this material. Like honestly, I think the Herzog remake I put slightly lower than this Eggers remake, just because it's like, why you did everything that one did almost shot for shot. You didn't really add nothing to it. This film's in color. That's black and white. This film has audible dialogue. That film had subtitles. But you didn't add anything onto it. This film is 40 minutes longer. Eggers' film, and you don't really add much to this that improves the film. Like I did appreciate some of the extra plague stuff. With the rats. What's the name? Getting some dialogue because I like Willem Dafoe, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, you also gave more dialogue to the friends of our main characters for no reason.
Which that's where
when they were, and I'm looking at them like, I don't care about them either. These scenes are just stretching this out for no reason, making this thing more bloated. And I too had the same problem you had. I could not find an emotional connection with none of these characters. So I go back and I actually watched the original Nosferatu after I seen this film that I've never seen before. And there's like, in the beginning when we're meeting our main guy, and there's like seconds or a couple minutes where he's with his fiance or is his wife at the time?
I think it's fiance.
He's with her, and I'm like, yo, they felt more like a couple in the silent version than in this modern version that you had all this time. You had all this, you had the actors and all that. So it's like, I will give this thing effort. It's probably one of the best looking films you're going to see from 2024. Yeah. But it's like, I need more than aesthetics, man. And I think Eggers is great at aesthetics. But some of his other stuff, like when I watched The Northman, it's empty spectacle. It seems to me like an inferior version of Conan. It's Conan without the heart. You know, even though they have better production values and a lot of the stuff looks better than what Conan was able to achieve, but I prefer to watch Conan. It just has more of something to say and just more lasting. Whereas I think Eggers is great at these visuals, but I'm not sure. But then again, he did The Lighthouse, and I love that movie. Yeah. I love the madness and the craziness and the quirkiness of that film. And also, what was The Witch? I like The Witch a lot. Yeah. But something, he's losing that. He's not as good as a director when it comes to making those emotional resonance, man. And for a lot of people, he's still got a lot of fans. People are loving Nosferatu. I know a lot of people who love The Northman, and that's fine for them. Things look good. I need more than that.
I need to feel. I need to feel it as well. And also, I mean, when it comes to the look, I feel like he missed the mark on some of the most iconic imagery that the original provided. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't put emphasis on.
I did like his little shadow hand over the city. Yeah, that looked kind of dope.
That was cool. But you know what? He didn't. The usage of the shadow in the original was so much more. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta the shadow of Count Orlok was just as important.
He did, when he's creeping up the steps and doing the little, there was, a couple shots.
He didn't hit on it as much. Especially what really disappointed me was the boat. Because when he's riding, you see there's certain scenes on the boat that were, very monumental.
I think, what's the name kind of skips some boat stuff. They address it, like, if you look at the original, but it goes quick. And even the Herzog, they mentioned. But then you watch Voyage of the Demeter, and that's a wild film, too, because I think that film looked great, but it didn't hit for me like that. It was lacking
as well.
I didn't care about any of this stuff, man. Yeah. But I don't know, man. That's interesting. Your take on that. I've been active, man. I've been out here in these streets, man. Especially with me trying to get my stuff in for the reviews. Show, but of course, the Substance, man. I honestly, it's hard, but I'll probably have that as the film of 2024 for me, man. I love. It's a lot of stuff. I got to really look at my list and examine and juxtapose. But I think that's probably the best thing that we've seen. Just a film that had, the kind of classic throwback horror, body horror vibes, but also was making a statement, man. Yes. And to get someone, this felt like to me, like when, it's crazy because they're connected. It felt like to me when Bruce Willis did Pulp Fiction. And then we got Demi Moore doing a film that also similarly brought her name back into the spotlight and getting, recognition for it, man. That's crazy to me, dude.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Substance was very good. Left a lasting impression, not just with the subject matter, but the visuals. That I like it because it was no CG, all practical effect. It had that classic Cronenberg feel. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, things you just can't unsee. And it's not just like when you get to the climactic moments at the end, it's the other stuff that happens along the way. Like, just how the substance is even manifested, the cutting through the spine. And just, this stuff is, it's cringeworthy, but at the same time, you can't turn away. It's just like, I don't want to see it, but I'm going to keep watching, because I don't want to miss. I mean, it's been a while since I had, a film, affect me in that kind of way when it pertains to the body horror element, and then, like you said, the subject matter is so real time relevant. It's right now stuff. I mean, people look at the amount of things that people do to try to enhance their physical appearance or to try to fit into a prototypical body style or whatever the case may be. Nobody wants to get old, but they ain't found that fountain of youth yet, so it touches on that.
Even the way they toss Charlize Theron to get Anya Taylor-Joy, you know what I'm saying? To trade in her in for the, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's like, it's still happening.
It happens in the real time, and the way that this film kind of exposes that and makes a whole movie about it and just does it in a way, like I said, that leaves a lasting impression. That's one. It's not one that I would watch. Like it doesn't need multiple viewings, but it is.
I could definitely watch that again.
I would watch it again.
It'll probably be like an annual thing. Not that I'm gonna be every couple months, but I can see myself.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are some movies that I'll put on once a month, but this is one definitely yearly. But one thing I will say, this is if I cross paths with anyone who's like, man, I ain't seen that before, I'm like, oh, sit down. We're about to watch it, and we're not gonna eat. You can't eat while you watch it. Okay?
So let me ask you this: what did you think about Den of Thieves?
Den of Thieves. I thought that it was okay for what it was. The plot twist to me was, it didn't hit me like that heavy. It was kind of, I kind of expected it. I think Den of Thieves is good as a stand on its own film. I don't know how they're going to make a sequel out of it.
I think it was a fun time. Like it's one of those heist movies that, definitely predictable, but it's entertaining while you're in the moment.
Yeah.
So Den of Thieves 2, I just saw that and
okay, so all right, so cool. So you answered, there you go, answered my questions. See, I'm probably not gonna.
I mean, I would say watch it just for yourself, but don't expect much. I mean, the problem I have with this film is like, it's kind of goes in a roundabout way to, justify its existence, especially with our characters involved. You saw the original, how it ended. So they do this crazy thing to get the thing back in motion. And we going international now, yo. So my problem with this film, though, is like, we don't have a lot of action scenes, man. I feel like some aspects of it have went up and then they left the plot behind. So it's like, we got, this fancy locale. They look like they spent some money. They're shooting in a different country. We got some actors. Our characters are getting bigger and bigger scenarios. But you forgot to also give us a compelling reason to give a damn. So a big chunk of this middle film is like character relationship building and character building, which normally I appreciate, but not for the sake of general movement in your story. Like I can only take so many scenes of our guys being buddy and finding out things about each other.
Because the character dynamic was already established in the first one, right?
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably, get that stuff out of the way with a couple exposition scenes in the new joint. So also, like I said, this film is kind of long, bro. It's pushing the 2-hour mark, and we've just got a bunch of stuff in the middle that just doesn't amount to anything. I do appreciate the heist, though. It is a kind of a little different. They're going for more stealthy James Bond, Mission Impossible, instead of just going in with the guns blazing. But it was a rather really dry experience for me, man. Like it's a sequel that, first of all, never did justify its existence, but now we're going to go back in. Now that you got me here, you got to give us a reason, man. And I don't think it does a good job of that, man. Anybody seen that? Let me know what you think about that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
stay away from the den.
Yeah. I'm not.
No den.
Yeah, we didn't like that.
All right. Well, the other movie that I was able to cram in this weekend was a film called Y2K. And yeah, dude. So this one, I think it dropped the end of 2024, but I came across it on a streaming platform, and I had a good time with this one. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was labeled as a comedy horror, so that's what pulled me in. I was like, okay, so we got a dark comedy going on, and and then also it had my man from Big Boy from the Wilder Man.
Yeah, I know he's talking about.
And then Deadpool Part 2. So I was like, all right, cool. He's a wild character, but I like films that can kind of like, that put you in that time warp. And this one, I mean, it did that. Like, it takes place in 1999, Y2K, and it kind of had that start like of like the movies that were coming out in the time, like, You Can't Hardly Wait, or those
it's kind of like those teenage comedies,
teeny pop, kind of things that were going on at that time. And it kept that energy, and then but when it shifts gears, it does it in such a way. It's like, oh, this is what happened when Skynet wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. That's what happens, man.
I didn't expect it. I knew the horror element was going to come. I didn't know how, didn't know when, but when it came, I was satisfied. And I like that this movie it didn't pull no punches when it came to taking people out. Like, people that you thought were going to make it to the finish line, they were getting taken out right after the race started, which I thought that was really cool to show that, happen. And just the good time. It seemed like everybody in this film was having just a really good time with what was being done. It's not one that you take serious. I could easily see myself rewatching this one from time to time, just for the sheer enjoyment of it. And like I said, it took me back to a time like when I was in early in high school. You know what I'm saying? At that time, and like I love the part where at the beginning, like the dude walks into the party and everybody is separated in the party by the music they listen to. And that was a thing in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how people were clicked up, was by the music they listened to. I don't know if that happens nowadays, but it was definitely a thing then. And I watched it with my daughter, and she was like, what's going on right now? I was like, oh yeah, that's how everyone was clicked up back in the day. She was like, but what's going on? I was like, by the music you listen to.
It's a party, son.
That's it.
It's wild, man, because that one surprised me, man. It is a lot of fun, man. It is a slasher, but it's also like a fun, like it's horror going on, but they're having a good time. I think what's really dope is the time capsule of it, because it is a period film, so we're going back to that era. The popular music at the time. Fred Durst pops up in this, ironically, man. Also, Alicia Silverstone and what's the name is also here? Rachel Zegler. I forgot to mention her. She's popular now. She's from, I think she did that last Scream movie. I think she was in that. Or she plays Tuesday.
No, that's
that's the other girl. My bad.
It's Wednesday.
My bad, Wednesday. I said, did I get the name wrong or the
call
actor
it
wrong?
Tuesday. You got the days of the week wrong, bro. And it's what's her damn name?
I know, this other one. But Ziegler is popping up in a lot of these little horror things, as you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's becoming a face popular and stuff. But yeah, man, this definitely was a welcome surprise, man. It just has really fun energy and it's fun premise. Doesn't overstay its welcome, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's a short watch.
Time you're getting fatigued. The kills are crazy, man, because it's based on our fear of the time of the Y2K virus going off. So it's fun seeing some of this stuff, and there's some really cool practical kill effects. They're going hard. They went hard with that, man. So I definitely appreciated watching this, man.
Fun watch.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think that's it for my. Let me see anything else real quick. I did see Presence, man. That was the last one I'm going to talk about. And that was a really interesting film to me. This is done by David Soderbergh. I think that's his name, David, or let me see. But this film is based on this family that moves into this house, and there's a entity in it. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because this film has really interesting POV footage. My bad, Steven Soderbergh. This is a wild movie, yo. Soderbergh, he's one of my favorites because he takes crazy risks, man. Mm-hmm. And a lot of his risks are coming with technology and filming. So the interesting thing about this film is he wrote it, directed it, and he played cameraman on this thing a lot, man. He shot this thing on the phone, bro, with this rig hooked to this thing. So immediately I'm watching this, man, and like the opening shot, bro, is one of them long shots where it doesn't cut, man. And there's a bunch of those in this film where I'm talking about like 8-minute sequences, nonstop with these actors moving around, the cameras moving around. So what's interesting about this film, we're from the point of view of the entity, and this thing has a crazy twist, bro. So this is wild as hell, man. So, and you know, in this family's house, they just moved in. I guess they want better schools, you know, for their kids and all this stuff. You know, and this film stars, I think, Lucy Liu's in here, you know, as our main, the mom, you know, of the family. We also get a short scene with Julia Fox. She's a realtor. Kalina Liang, Eddie Madej, and Chris Sullivan. These make up our family. Wes Mulholland plays, you know, one of the family friends. We get some painters, small cast, man. Really small film. This film mostly takes place in this house, you know, different rooms and different areas. But it's crazy because, like, the whole time it's kind of like fly on the wall. We're looking at the entity, looking at the family, and it's crazy, man. So here's the thing, the controversy with this film. A lot of people are seeing it and saying that they didn't like it, and I saw it and I was blown out of the way. I went in blind, dude. I didn't even know. I just knew maybe something in the house, but I never watched the trailer. I didn't read anything about it. And the problem is the trailer, the advertising going around, scariest movie of the year. It's not, bro. It's not. Don't do that.
Long legs did.
They long legs. That's what they long legs. So be truthful when you're advertising your movie, man. You may alienate your audience because I went in with no expectations and I watched it play out. I really enjoyed this film, man. And I will say this: it's more like a family drama with some spooky stuff going in. Really, that's it. It's not like a horror scary. It's a family drama with some compelling family dynamics. Because I think that was the strong part to me. The mom is kind of. You could tell she favors, you know, her son over her daughter, that kind of thing. The dad's just trying to keep peace, make sure he shows love to all the kids, as well as try to handle this domineering wife, you know, that's just overly, you know.
That sounds scary in itself.
Yeah,
what do they need a ghost for?
And those dynamics play out, and then there's a ghost in this house that they just moved in. I had a good time with it, man. It's definitely one of my favorite watches, recent watches, you know.
Did it hit like the Poltergeist?
No, it's different. It's a different kind of film, man. Like Poltergeist is trying to scare you and do it. Like I said, this is at its core mostly a family drama, and there's some spooky stuff going in. So just notice that. And if you don't mind watching drama act, and it's not overly long. By the time it starts to overstay its welcome, it's over. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. By the time you get, you know, boom, which reminds me of another film I saw yesterday, but I'm gonna say that for the next time.